Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning resource, CFP, founder and president of TJ Stearns Inc. Tim Stearns is here with us. Tim, welcome back in.
Hey, Peter, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Going well, Tim. We appreciate the time, the guidance that you provide to Chicagoland area savers and investors here on the program each and every week, and of course in the archives of the podcast that can be found on the website tjstearns.com. Lots of great additional resources there. And Tim, you always bring along some food for thought and resources for those taking their planning and their financial future seriously. And today, no different. You've got a list of 50 401k mistakes. Now, the 401k, Tim, probably our most common and most often utilized tool for planning for our financial futures, but a lot of people making a lot of mistakes with the 401k apparently.
Right. Very much so, Peter. And, with the advent of ERISA for most baby boomers, the pensions have kind of gone by the wayside and they knew that was coming. So 401ks were it. So there's a lot of different nuances to it. I think a lot of people, very educated people, don't understand how it all works. And so they're missing out on some opportunities that I thought we should bring up and kind of talk about.
Probably need to identify those opportunities as early as possible to make the best financial progress that we can and to make the most of the tools that we have available. So, Tim, let's get right into this list. I do want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you would like more information on anything you hear on the program, if you would like a copy of this list of 50 common 401k mistakes, or if you'd like to sit down and go over your 401k with a certified financial planner, Tim Stearns offered that opportunity with no cost, no obligation. All you need to do is pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Or again, you can go online, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. So Tim, number one, we got to get started in the plan, right? Every journey of a long distance starts with the first step. We got to get started in that 401k. Mistake number one would be not taking part, not participating in the plan.
Agreed. And, people, a lot of times when you start a new job, they're not going to start you out right away that you can be part of the 401k. And it might kind of fall, by the wayside that they don't do it. And so what we've tried to do is, if people have done a job transition, which especially with what's been going on, that's been happening, just said to them, make sure that when you're able to, make sure you're signing up and participate.
Absolutely. And Tim, it's a vehicle that is really intended to be kind of out of sight and out of mind and done automatically. But in order to benefit from it, you got to get it started. So we do want to participate when and where and however we have that opportunity. Now, Tim, a lot of times we are incentivized to participate in the 401k with some type of match from the company. So mistake number two, not participating enough to at least capture the match, not capturing the match if it's available to us.
Exactly. That is huge. I mean, you should at least be contributing as much as they're going to match you. And then after that, you want to look for the limit, which right now is 19,500. Unless you're over age 50, then you have another 5,500 catch up. But basically what we try to tell people is, if you're not going to be in it, first of all, that's one thing. Secondly, if you're not getting enough in it to get the match because you finally did sign up, then you're leaving money on the table.
Right.
And that's a huge thing. This is going to be your biggest asset besides your house. We know that in fact, some people and our retirement classes laugh and they go, well, actually, our house is worth our house is actually worth less than our 401k. So that being said, I mean, we need to make sure that we don't leave money on the table.
Yeah. You got to work just as hard, whether you get that piece of your compensation or not, right? But you got to put some skin in the game to get it. So
absolutely,
got to participate enough to capture that match, ladies and gentlemen. And we're starting with the basics here. We're starting off with starting that 401k and some mistakes people make when they are starting off, but not starting as soon as you are eligible, not maximizing that available match, not utilizing the Roth option. Tim, this is a relatively new development inside of many 401ks, and some still don't offer this. So when it's available, need to strongly consider that Roth option.
It's funny. 7 years ago, one of my clients started with a company, and I said to him, "Do they offer that?" And he said, "Well, what is it? I don't really get it." And he said, "Can I only put like $5,000 in it? And I'm not even eligible because I make too much." Well, guess what? All those rules go out the door. All right. If you make $1 million a day, you could still participate in a Roth 401k.
And I would like that job.
Right. Yes. But I mean, so you're getting the match, which is still going to be on the profit sharing side. So it's still going to be taxable down the road, but you're going to get it in a Roth format for the rest of it. So the 19,500 is actually going into a Roth area. Why do I told him to do that? And we went online the other day together to take a look at how he had been doing. And believe it or not, he's over 59 and a half. So we actually rolled the money out, some of it from his Roth. I said, "Bill, you really took what I said to heart." He said, "Every year, put the maximum in there." And then, the market took care of the rest. But we need to make sure that people understand Medicare is doing means testing. So when we come to take, when you go to get online to go into Medicare, they're going to look at all your income, your taxable income. Well, guess what? What if a lot of my money is going to be a Roth? It's going to drop me down, right, in my taxable bracket. So I'm not paying as much for even Medicare. So it works hand in hand with that. Plus, you've paid Uncle Sam his money, and now it's all your money. So think about the power of leaving that to your family, and it can go on, for generations.
So maybe a decision that we make early on or wherever we are today in our progress, but Tim, a decision that obviously is going to have a lot of implications and benefits
down the road
later on down the road for us, and not just within the 401k, but an echo effect with your Social Security, with your Medicare, and with your overall taxable income, how much you actually get to keep. So that 401k Roth component, again, could be very valuable to you. You need to consider that carefully. And even if you make a good deal of income and may otherwise be eliminated from the ability to make Roth IRA contributions, those rules, those limitations do not apply inside of a 401k. And you can contribute far more money inside of a 401k than you can to a personal IRA anyway. So you could really do a lot of savings there, really make a lot of headway. Again, something to really look at and analyze on a personal individual basis. Make sure you're making the best decision for your set of circumstances, your situation. Pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns, Certified Financial Planner, Chicagoland's CFP, Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And we've not yet begun to scratch the surface of this list of 50 common 401k mistakes. But Tim, getting a little bit more advanced now, not reviewing the statements, not rebalancing, not understanding the investment choices, not paying attention to fees. These are all things that are on an ongoing basis. We really need to sort of review in that 401k periodically, correct?
Well, what's funny is that we've had people coming in who are now bringing in unopened statements because they're so scared to look at what happened after Corona hit, the COVID. So, which is what we saw in 2008. So you have to not bury your head in the sand like an ostrich, right? You have to look at your statements, and we're happy to help people understand them because a lot of people don't understand exactly what their investment choices are. And, a silver bullet is not the target date funds. They still went down in 2008 and they went down in March. So that's the other thing. And also, now that the market's come rallying back, make sure that you're rebalancing and make sure that you understand exactly what you have in that 401k. Do you have a lot of risk? Do you have a lot of bonds? I don't know. But those are the types of things that we tell people. And I always give the example of my one uncle. He got forced to retire because he was over 70. And I went to go look at his investment choices or his statement. And, he was going to roll the money over to me into an IRA. And he had 80% at the age of 70 in a low price stock mutual fund. And my point being is that he signed up when he was about 17, 18 years old and never looked at it again. Yeah. He's a bachelor, and he just wasn't that guy to do that.
Well, again, out of sight, out of mind. On one hand, Tim, this is an advantage. That is a good quality of the 401k because the savings is getting done. And I know it's exceedingly more difficult to save that kind of money if we bring it home and the cash is in our hands, so to speak. So having it done automatically before we ever see it, out of sight, out of mind, in that aspect, and in that respect is a good thing. But in the respect of this is important. It's our retirement money. We need to pay attention to it, and we're not because these accounts are out of sight, out of mind. We could be missing some important opportunities to do some of that rebalancing and adjusting along the way.
Right. And by the way, it did work out for my uncle because he got out when I got a hold of it. We got him out at a very good time to get out of the market. So he's happily retired still.
But rebalancing again along the way, Tim, could have put him in an even better situation. Maybe when there was major downturns in the market, 2000 through 2002, the Great Recession in 2007 and 8. If we are rebalancing and keeping an appropriate mix during those times, we're capturing more of the upside and we're minimizing more of the downside along the way. Not enough people are doing that kind of rebalancing. But to your point, Tim, the next several of these items on this list are about taking control when we have that opportunity. And so not taking control of plan assets when possible, that's a mistake. Leaving old plans behind, not rolling over those old 401ks, and missing the opportunity for that in-service distribution, the age 59 and a half opportunity to take control, because, Tim, our outcome is determined by the level of control that we take over certain variables.
I agree. And you're beholden. If you're under 59 and a half, you're stuck with what they're offering you. But if you're over 59 and a half, most companies offer the opportunity to take your money out, at least the vested balance. And I would tell everyone to do that and, open yourself up to this, because then you get the whole world to deal with, all these different investments. And we're happy to sit down with them and see what their goals are, what their risk tolerance is, and make sure that it works.
Well, again, if you would like the help and assistance of a certified financial planner, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns a call. He is Chicagoland's CFP, and we don't get enough guidance or oversight or advice or direction on these 401k plans. But again, these are more often than not our biggest tool and our best opportunity for establishing the lifestyle that we want in retirement and making progress to get there. You need to make sure you're not making any of these mistakes. Tim can help you pinpoint if you are and show you how to correct that. Pick up the phone, give a call, request this list, this 2-page report of detailing 50 different 401k common mistakes, and then take it the next step. Make sure that you're not making any of them. Sit down with Tim and do a thorough forensic financial analysis, a retirement planning review and strategy session. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Tim, there are a few on this list that are very specific to situations. If you're planning on retiring before 59 and a half, what to do with your 401k. If you've got the opportunity to have company stock inside your plan, what to do about that and how to roll it out. But here's another big category that I think a lot of people probably are falling into this and making this mistake, or unfortunately with COVID and what's happened, been forced to take loans from their 401ks. Sometimes we use it as a piggy bank, even when it's not necessary. But with COVID-19, with the provisions of the CARES Act making it more accessible and available, more people took loans from their 401ks just to float, just to make it through this time. That's got some implications. We've got to pay those back. We don't want to leave a job or change jobs. We certainly don't want to exit the plan with that loan still outstanding.
Exactly. And they say it's easy to pay yourself back that way. But, if God forbid you leave a company while the loan is still out there, unless you pay it down, it's going to be a distribution to you and it's taxable. So I tell people all the time, make sure that, if you're going to have to do this loan, make sure you understand what the provisions are when you need to pay it back. Usually it's a 5-year plan. It will all depend on the company. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll get on a conference call with people that need help with their 401k provider, and they'll give them permission to speak to me, whether we're doing a loan, whether we're doing a 59.5 withdrawal, which again is so powerful. I mean, why stick with 10 mutual funds when you could have the world, whatever you want in an IRA, because there's much better products out there.
Absolutely. Well, again, if you'd like this list of 50 common 401k mistakes, pick up the phone and give certified financial planner Tim Stearns a call, and he can sit down with you. He can call your plan administrator. He can call the financial institution that offers this and that your account is through, and make sure that you're not making any of these more specific mistakes that can really derail your retirement projections and can help you identify opportunities to be as efficient as possible with your money. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And by the way, Tim has made the list available as well. If you'd like the 2-page report detailing 50 mistakes, give a call, start there. Just go over the list on your own time with your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, your family, your spouse, and make sure that you're doing the right things with your money. So important for our financial future. Again, 800-640-2256. Tim, you talked a little bit about the target date funds, relying on those, or the default funds, the life cycle funds. Certainly, they do have some advantages, but there might be some disadvantages and missing some opportunities there as well. But as we reach that target date, as we get closer to retirement and ultimately what the 401k is intended for, even more serious mistakes can be made if we rely on the projections and the assumptions inside the 401k and what they are showing us we may be able to rely on for income in retirement. Those assumptions and projections are not dependable. They are not guaranteed in any way, and we really need to examine some of the assumptions that are being made there.
Right. Those things are, I don't like those at all. I think people are counting on something like that, and that's just scary to me, because that they're allowed to show you that. If the market does what it did, in late February, early March, 28% down, that number goes out the window. That doesn't exist anymore. So we always tell people, if they're with us, a lot of times we might be using an annuity where we actually have some guarantees in there that we know exactly what the income's going to be. So what we always tell people is, when we do a written income plan with them, we should look at it and look at the guarantees. We don't look at, hopefully, as David Gaylor, the writer of the book Income Allocation, always says, I don't work in the hope. I'm willing to see what happens. We work in the know. Yeah. We want to know exactly what retirement's going to look like.
Maybe, probably, hopefully. Those aren't words of certainty. Yeah. You want certainty in your retirement. You don't want the probability of failure. And Tim, you mentioned David Gaylor in the book Income Allocation, a resource that you have frequently made available here on the program. That really, it maybe takes the next step above and beyond just this list in detailing some of the bigger systemic problems with relying on 401ks, doesn't it?
Yes, it talks a lot about how 401ks always have mutual funds in them. Mutual funds cannot go to cash unless you tell the provider that you want to go to cash. That's an Investment Company Act of 1940 when they created mutual funds. It's all in the book, and that's why, as you know, David, Peter, I like to make it available the first 10 callers that call in, we'll get the book in your hands, income allocation. We can give it to you digitally, and then we also have it in the office, but we can get it out to them and make sure that they have it. Most people who read it, if they get it, they really love it. And it's a whole way of doing retirement that you just kind of work in the know.
Well, again, if you would like more certainty, dependability, durability in your retirement outlook, in the plan that you have for generating retirement income, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. But Tim, the 401k does not represent a predictable income for retirement. We really have to take a look at the paradigm. Our way of thinking, what we are doing, our life situation shifts dramatically when we enter into retirement, and the structure of the plan and the tools that we are using need to shift along with us.
Exactly. And things change on a dime. And that's why I'm very proud of how we do things. We work always dynamically, meaning that we know that life isn't static. So we don't make you a plan that's going to be static. That, oh, well, that we didn't see that coming. So, oh, well, you can't retire, or you know what, you might have to go back to work. That doesn't happen. We make sure that we work, systemically at that, to make sure that people understand exactly what they're looking to do. And if we can get them there, we will. And it's dynamic. So it helps them so much.
All right. Well, we've got a few more here on the list, and we've only touched on a random few numbers of these, but there's 50 common 401k planning mistakes or 401k mistakes. You need to get your hands on this list. Give a call, 800-640-2256. But Tim, continuing on, holding your 401k through retirement, I think we just touched on that. Staying too safe in your 401k, not understanding the stable value or the fixed options and utilizing them appropriately, overestimating the growth of your 401k, underestimating the risk of your 401k, not dollar cost averaging on a regular basis, not increasing your contributions over time, all of these, not making missing the available age-based catch-up allowance. Big opportunities to miss, Tim. We don't want to miss any of those opportunities, and we don't want to make any of those mistakes.
Right now, more than ever, we don't know what's going to happen. You need to make sure that you're taking care of business and taking whatever free money you can get. Make sure you're rebalancing. Make sure that you know what your 401k is all about this minute, because luckily the market came back and people are back to, I'm going to use it, normal, but we don't know what's going to happen. If the market crashes again, people were calling me in droves because they were worried about it. We'd like to talk now. We realize what you were talking about earlier, because we got so euphoric that the market's not going to go down. Well, it proved us wrong. Luckily, it rallied back with the Federal Reserve's help, right? So basically, you're looking at the fact that we're not always going to have the Fed to bail us out.
Right. And we don't have those pensions as a reliable source of retirement income to a great extent any longer either. The burden of funding retirement is squarely on each of our own individual shoulders. The 401k, a fantastic tool, but again, all too commonly, we make some of these mistakes. Let's make sure that we've identified some of those common mistakes so that we can avoid them. You only get that one chance at an ideal retirement, and while smart people learn from their own mistakes, we simply don't have that time or that luxury in our retirement planning process. Pick up the phone, give Tim Stearns a call, request this excellent list of 50 401k mistakes, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, in addition to the report, you've made several special offers: the book, Income Allocation, and the time to sit down and help somebody review their comprehensive, thorough forensic financial analysis, the total plan, including the 401k, where we don't typically get a whole lot of guidance.
Right. And, we can do this remotely. I've done Zooms with many different people since this thing started with COVID. and, people are comfortable. I can show them we could share the screen. They can see exactly the plan that we're coming up with, and how it's better than what they even were, working and hope. We don't do that. Perhaps like you just said, we work in the know.
If you'd like to get a plan with some certainty, some predictability, some dependability, and durability, pick up the phone and give certified financial planner Tim Stearns a call. He's here as your resource, Chicagoland. Savers and investors, you taking your planning, your financial future seriously? Get the help of a certified financial planning professional. Tim Stearns here as your resource. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, we always appreciate your time. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Peter. It was a great time.
Always a pleasure speaking with Tim Stearns, and he's looking forward to hearing from you, helping in any way he can, providing this list of 50 401k planning mistakes, providing the book, Income Allocation, providing you the opportunity to really sit down and examine your financial and retirement planning. Pick up the phone, give him a call, 800-640-2256. We'll talk to you real soon.
Your 401k is a great tool to help you build wealth and assets that you will need to support yourself through retirement. Most investors, however, have never discussed exactly how to turn their retirement accounts into retirement income. Missing this important conversation could potentially be the difference between a confident retirement or a retirement full of doubt and worry. Having a specific written income plan, a plan that shows you how to turn retirement account assets into retirement income, is the foundation of your retirement plan. But most people are missing this vital piece of their plan as they move into retirement. Bottom line, if you don't have a retirement income plan, you don't have a plan that addresses retirement's biggest risks. To map out a strategic plan, call Chicagoland's certified financial planner and retirement planning resource, Tim Stearns, at 800-640-2256. They will help you create a plan to keep more of your money and keep income coming in throughout retirement. Call CFP Tim Stearns today, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256.